What if your entire world changed in an instant? Meet Maya, a girl whose life of compassion and simplicity is shattered when her parents disappear during a medical mission. Sent to live with her wealthy aunt and cruel cousin in Spain, Maya's journey takes an unexpected turn when she catches the attention of her cousin's fiancé. But as feelings develop, tensions rise, and secrets emerge, Maya must navigate a web of jealousy, betrayal, and unexpected love. Will she ever find her way back to happiness? Welcome to Tales Revealed. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Maya, and this is my story. I was born in a small town in Morocco to parents who were truly heaven sent. Both of them were nurses who worked with an international aid organization and often treated patients without charging a penny. We weren't wealthy by any means, but our home was filled with laughter and love. My parents' compassion naturally rubbed off on me, and even as a young child, I couldn't bear to see anyone suffering. Everything changed shortly after my 15th birthday. My parents had traveled to Ethiopia as part of an emergency medical team, and days later, they were reported missing. As search teams continued looking for them, I was sent to live with my aunt and cousin in Spain. Aunt Sophia was incredibly wealthy and lived in an enormous villa with her daughter Lucia. Aunt Sophia welcomed me with open arms and gave me a tour of her home. There were exquisite decorative pieces in every corner. "Wow, this sculpture is beautiful," I exclaimed. "That's Lucia's selection. We bought it in Rome last year." "You've been to the Colosseum? I've heard it's breathtaking." I suddenly stumbled backward and knocked the sculpture off the table. It shattered into pieces on the marble floor. "Oh no, I'm so sorry." "It's all right," Aunt Sophia said gently. "I'll call someone to clean this up, and we'll continue the tour later." At dinner, I tried to be extremely careful not to drop anything, and Aunt Sophia noticed my nervousness. "Are you still thinking about that sculpture?" "Don't worry about it," she reassured me. "But just so you know, if Lucia says something, don't take it too personally, okay?" "What do you mean?" "Well, her heart's in the right place, but she has a different way of expressing her feelings. Just know that we're both very happy to have you here." I wasn't quite sure what Aunt Sophia meant, and I was rather curious to meet this mysterious Lucia. Aunt had to step away during dinner when she received an important call. As I cleared the plates, a group of laughing girls burst into the dining room. One of them spotted me and said, "Hey you, go get something to drink for me and my friends." This girl must be Lucia, I thought. "Hi, I'm Maya, and I'm your—" "Did I ask for your name? Just go get me a Sprite, a lemonade, and a coffee. You know where the kitchen is, right?" I nodded and quickly returned with the drinks. Not one of them said thank you, which felt strange to me. Just then, one of Lucia's friends accidentally knocked over her glass, spilling her drink on the table. Lucia snapped her fingers at me. I wiped up the mess and left the room. Later that evening, as I was watching TV in the living room, Lucia walked in alone and suddenly looked furious. "I know you're new, but are you crazy? You're a housekeeper here, not a guest." "Actually, I'm not the housekeeper, I'm your cousin, Maya." Lucia looked taken aback. "So, why were you acting like the help before?" "I wasn't. You just asked me for something, so I did it." "But why? Are you some kind of pushover who just does everything she's told?" "No, but you're my cousin, and I didn't mind helping you out." She just stared at my face, then started laughing and walked away. One day, Aunt Sophia was telling me about how she'd started her cosmetics company from scratch, and now it was a multi-million-dollar business. I was genuinely impressed. "I want to take my brand worldwide, and I'm looking for someone to model the new collection," she explained. "You're so gorgeous yourself, Aunt Sophia. You should be the face of your products." "Geez, yeah, she's letting you stay in her home, but there's no need to be such a bootlicker," Lucia interrupted. "No, I'm serious. Aunt Sophia is stunning, and you take after her, you know." "As if. I guess Mom hasn't told you her little secret yet." Suddenly, she leaped forward and grabbed Aunt Sophia's hair. I thought she was going to hurt her, but then Aunt Sophia's hair came off. It was a wig, and she was completely bald. Aunt looked mortified, and I was shocked beyond words. But Lucia just laughed and waltzed out singing, "Mom is baldy." Aunt quickly tried to put her wig back on, but I stopped her. Lucia shouldn't have done that. "But Aunt, you're stunning even without your wig." "Oh, Maya, you don't have to say that. I lost all my hair due to alopecia a year ago, and I know I look like a monster." "No, you don't. You look strong and beautiful like a superhero straight out of a comic book. It really suits you." "You really think so?" "Absolutely. I started school soon after and felt somewhat out of place, but I decided to focus on my studies. One day I was having lunch outside in the schoolyard when a soccer ball came flying out of nowhere and hit a young boy playing nearby, knocking him down. I immediately helped him to his feet, took him to the bathroom, and helped him clean up. "Are you feeling okay?" I asked. "Yeah, I'm fine, but wait, my tablet. I can't find it. It must have fallen somewhere." "Don't worry, I'll help you look." We both went back to search for it, but when I found it, it was completely smashed, as if someone had deliberately stepped on it. The boy was about to burst into tears, and I quickly said, "Hey, don't cry. How about I give you mine?" "Really? Is your mom going to be okay with that?" "Yeah, I'm pretty sure my mom won't mind." "Here, it's all yours." "Thank you so much. You're awesome." Suddenly, someone behind me spoke. "Wow, awesome indeed." I turned around to see a tall, handsome boy holding a soccer ball. "I'm sorry, that was my ball that hit him. Kicked it a little too hard, I think. You should be saying sorry to him, not me." But the little boy was already skipping away with my tablet. "I guess I owe you a tablet. Why'd you give yours away anyway?" "Because it's just a tablet, and look how happy he is." He was about to say something when suddenly Lucia appeared and threw her arms around his neck. "There you are, babe. I see you've already met my cousin. Maya, this is my fiancé, Daniel." "Oh, you two are cousins?" "Yes, remember I told you about the orphan cousin from Morocco that we took in? You know how big-hearted Mom is. It's Morocco, and I'm not an orphan. My parents will be back soon. But yes, my aunt is generous and amazing." With that, I walked away. A few days later, Aunt Sophia was hosting a dinner for Daniel and his parents. Everything seemed to be going smoothly, but when the soufflés were served, they had sunk in, and Lucia called for the cook. "Did you expect me and my guests to have this soup for dessert? I know you're not the brightest, but how stupid do you have to be to mess it up?" "Lucia, that's enough," Aunt Sophia intervened. "Honey, you can go now," she said to the cook. I felt furious. I wanted to tell Lucia off so badly, but I didn't want to create a scene. Later that evening, as we all sat in the living room, Daniel suddenly turned to me and said, "I've noticed that you're always wearing this big watch. It seems too heavy for your wrist." "Oh yeah, it's my dad's. Mom gave it to him for his birthday, and I've just borrowed it until they get back home." "Maya, could you please not talk about your parents?" Lucia interrupted. "It's just uncomfortable." "It's not uncomfortable for me to talk about them?" "Yes, but it makes other people feel weird. No one wants to talk about depressing stuff." I felt angry tears stinging my eyes, and I quickly excused myself and went out to the garden. I found the poor cook crying outside and consoled her as best as I could. As she walked away, I turned to find Daniel behind me. "Your cook seemed really upset. Maybe Lucia was a bit harsh, but I guess you have to deal with servants a certain way. The only way to deal with anyone is with respect." "Yes, but she made a mistake and Lucia had to tell her. Not in front of everyone and not like that. The cook is only human. Her son is really unwell and she's worried. And even then she prepared a whole feast for us." "Do you know everything about all the servants?" "I do talk to them." "Don't you?" "Sure, to give instructions, but nothing about their personal lives. They live in your house and serve you every day, and you don't care to know anything about them?" "Wait, are you saying I'm arrogant?" "Well, yes, I am." I started walking away, but suddenly he gently grabbed my wrist. "Lucia shouldn't have said that about your parents. I'm sorry, and I'm sure they'll be found soon." "Me too, and thank you." And then I left. The next evening, when I went to the kitchen, the cook seemed to be in a really good mood, and she told me that Daniel had offered to fully pay for her son's treatment. I guess he wasn't so bad after all. A few weeks later, I was walking out of a cafe in town when I walked straight into someone. Daniel. A small velvet box fell at his feet, and we both quickly bent down to pick it up, bumping our heads really hard. Then we both burst out laughing and sat down on a bench. I just picked out a ring for Lucia. We have our engagement party in 2 weeks. What do you think?" He opened the box to reveal a diamond ring. "I'm sure she'll love it," I said, avoiding his gaze. "But I asked what you think." "It's lovely. I'm just the wrong person to ask about diamonds." "Well, what kind of ring would you want if you were getting married?" "I've never thought about it, and I haven't thought about marriage either. But if it ever happens, I just hope I'm as happy as my parents, and they've never had anything fancy, so I don't think that stuff matters." Daniel looked at me with a strange expression, and for some reason, it made my heart flutter. "You're nothing like your cousin, Maya. In fact, you're unlike any girl I know." Just then, a few raindrops fell on us, and Daniel said he'd drive me home. "Nope, I'm walking. It'll be fun." "But you'll get wet." "Exactly. When was the last time you walked in the rain, Daniel?" "Never." "That's just sad. It won't kill you, I promise." I started walking and he joined me. Then it started raining really hard, and he took off his jacket and put it over my head as we ran for cover, laughing like children. When it slowed down a bit, Daniel walked me home and I asked him if he'd like to come in and see Lucia. "No, I should be heading home, but thank you, Maya. I haven't laughed this much in ages." "You're something else." He smiled, and my heart was fluttering again. I went in, trying to push away that stupid feeling, but just as I was about to walk into my room, someone pushed me hard. It was Lucia. "What were you doing with Daniel, you witch? Hey, can you calm down? We just bumped into each other and he walked me home." "Wait a second. Is that Daniel's jacket you're wearing?" Suddenly I realized that he had draped it around my shoulders, and I'd forgotten to return it. "Look, it started raining and he was just being nice. Listen to me loud and clear, Maya. He's my fiancé, and I don't want you hanging out with him." "I didn't plan it, Lucia. I'll just stay away from him. You don't need to feel so insecure." Suddenly, she pounced at me and snatched the jacket away. "Why would you make me feel insecure? You're just a poor orphan living on our charity. Someone like him would never even think about someone like you." "And neither would I. But if you call me a poor orphan one more time, Lucia, I might just punch your face." With that, I pushed her out of my room and slammed the door shut. I was getting sick of her. After that, I completely avoided Daniel at school or any time he visited Lucia at home. He was her fiancé, and it was best for me to stay away from him. The engagement party was being hosted by Aunt Sophia, and the whole house was buzzing with excitement. But just as they were about to exchange rings, Daniel suddenly stopped and looked up at her. "Lucia, I can't do this. I can't get engaged to you." "What? What do you mean?" "I'm really sorry. I tried, but I just can't convince myself to go through with this. It isn't fair to us both." "What are you talking about, Daniel?" I'm in love with someone else, and it's not you. I'm sorry." Daniel left the room and everyone just stood there, speechless with shock. Lucia burst into tears and ran off to her room. What had just happened? Aunt Sophia looked really upset. An hour later, when I went up to my room, I was shocked to see that the whole place was trashed, and Lucia was standing in a corner holding Dad's watch. "Lucia, have you lost your mind? And what are you doing with my watch?" "I was waiting for you to come so I could show you this." With that, she put my watch on a table and smashed it with a hammer. "Oh my God, no! What did you do? That was my dad's. How could you?" "Well, I don't think he's coming back for it." And suddenly I snapped. I leaped forward and grabbed her hair, and we broke into a huge fight. Moments later, Aunt Sophia walked in and pulled us apart. "What's gotten into you two?" "She stole my fiancé. She's a snake, Mom. I don't know what you're talking about, you psycho." Aunt Sophia took Lucia away, and I climbed into my bed and cried for what seemed like hours. The next day, Aunt Sophia came into my room with a really serious face. "Maya, I am sending you away to live with my cousin in another city, and you'll be attending school there. I'll pay for everything, of course." I stared at her face, feeling a bit heartbroken. I loved my aunt, and I didn't want to be away from her. "I wish you would believe me that this isn't my fault, Aunt Sophia. I do believe you, but I have to take care of my daughter, and I don't think it's a good idea for you two to be around each other. I hope you'll understand." I left to stay with Aunt Sophia's cousin the next day. I missed her a lot, but her cousin was kind too, and I soon settled into my new school and tried to forget about my life before. But I never gave up hope that my parents would be found one day. I worked hard for a scholarship and got into a good university. One day, as I was walking out of university, a gust of wind suddenly blew some papers out of my hand, and as I ran after them, I tripped and was about to fall face forward when someone caught me. "I got you. And your papers, too." I looked up in complete shock. It was Daniel. "What? What are you doing here? Obviously looking for you." "But why, Daniel? You don't know how difficult you made things for me." "I know, and I'm really sorry. When I found out you left, I knew there was no use coming after you because you'd never make your aunt or Lucia unhappy. So I went away myself, trying to forget you, but I just couldn't. You somehow changed me, Maya. I don't want to just settle for something ordinary anymore. I want to be with someone who makes me happy, who makes me better. I'm in love with you. Maybe since the first time I met you. It was the sweetest thing I'd ever heard, and my eyes welled up. I never really stopped thinking about you either, Daniel, but I don't think we can be together. My aunt would be convinced that I broke Lucia up with you, and she'd hate me. That's another reason why I'm here. Your aunt's been sick for a while, and I think she'd really like to see you. There's something she wants to tell you. I immediately dropped everything and went to see Aunt Sophia, and I was shocked to find her so weak. Why didn't you tell me you were sick, Aunt? Who's been taking care of you? Where's Lucia? Lucia got married to a rich, much older guy some months ago, and she left. She hasn't visited me since. Well, I'm here now. Aunt Sophia tearfully took my hands. My darling Maya, I'm sorry that I ever sent you away from me. I was angry then, but I don't blame Daniel for falling for you. You're the best person I know, and you have my blessing to be with him. You deserve every bit of happiness. I hugged Aunt Sophia tight, and then she said something that shook my world. There's something else, but I had to be absolutely sure before I could tell you. I got a call from an agency in Ethiopia that had been trying to reach you. Maya, your parents have been found. I spoke to them myself, and they're flying in tomorrow. I just couldn't stop the tears from flowing. It sounded unbelievable, but I'd never lost hope. I left Aunt Sophia to rest and found Daniel waiting outside. You knew about my parents? I did, but I had to let your aunt be the one to tell you. I can't wait to see them again and introduce them to you. I'm so happy for you, Maya. It looks like it's gonna rain. Let's go for a walk, shall we? I'd really love that. If you loved this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. And hey, don't miss the video that's right here on your screen. It's one you won't want to skip. See you in the next one.